I'm here at Freddy's in Las Vegas, Nevada to give it a try. Okay, so I wanted to put on a nicer shirt to make this announcement because it's very serious. That may very well be the best fast food hamburger in America. It is better than Shake Shack. It is better than Five Guys. And as odd as this sounds to say, it may be as good or better than In-N-Out. We will all have to do more research.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Today's guest is writer for The Simpsons, executive producer and showrunner of season 7 and 8, along with Josh Weinstein, co-creator of Mission Hill, and most recently, executive producer on Disenchantment and Instagram Thought. Folks, it's Bill Oakley. Hey, Bill.
Hello. nice to talk to you guys.
Great to have you on. And we are all very excited about your latest star turn online to talk to a fellow creative.
Fellow influencer.
That's terrific. I'm delighted. I can't possibly tell you how thrilling it is to be recognized as an online force and maybe get invited to the next Fire Festival or something like that. I can only hope.
You in a car eating one of those cheese sandwiches that they were serving to everyone.
Oh yeah, man, I would have had a blistering review, but maybe I wouldn't. On the other hand, maybe I wouldn't get invited if I was too critical. So I got to be careful with that kind of stuff, I guess.
We're the same way. We eat disgusting political opinions.
It's true. Oh my God, it's true.
So why, you had been an multiple Emmy Award winner with a prosperous career in Hollywood. Why did you make the turn to being an influencer?
Okay, well, first of all, let me say this isn't really a career turn. It doesn't pay anything. I have not received any money for it. It's really more my hobby, whereas other guys my age would probably be out playing golf or doing something like that. This is my hobby, and I just kind of posted my opinions on Twitter, and then about a year ago I decided, hey, the tweets are getting too long and complicated. Why don't I just film myself with my phone and put it on Instagram? And I started doing that, and it kind of took off from there. It's really just kind of like, as I said, my hobby, because I am very opinionated about fast food and convenience food and condiments and all that stuff. And my family was getting sick of hearing me talk about that stuff, so I decided to direct it towards the general public, and they're eating it up.
That's exactly how I got into podcasting.
Right.
My wife said, for the love of God, shut the fuck up about politics.
We alienated those around us and found ourselves unable to function in the modern world, so we had to find an outlet for our opinions.
And a community of the likewise socially maladroit and alienated.
So so Bill, you're kind of like us in that if the cameras weren't rolling, you would still be doing this.
Absolutely. I was doing it for years before the cameras started rolling, and I'm still doing it. I mean, I only put about half the stuff that I discover online just for fear of overwhelming the system,
How did the fast food, you say you're passionate about fast and convenience food. How did the hobby in your role as sort of a food critic of mass consumables, how did that begin?
I think that just to psychoanalyze it a bit, I barely got any fast food when I was a kid. This is the thing. I'm overcompensating for the lack of fast food and video games. Like when I was a little kid, they had only just kind of invented Atari and stuff like that and arcade games, but we didn't have any anywhere within 50 miles of us, and I never got one. And the same with fast food restaurants. Back, because we lived out in the country, really up near the rural Maryland, Pennsylvania border. And so I never got to go, for my birthday, the biggest treat in the world would be to drive 50 miles to Baltimore or DC and go to McDonald's. So I never had that, and I never had video games, and now I'm overcompensating for both, I think, is the psycho history of this project.
So you're like an Amish kid on Rumspringa who goes nuts.
Yeah, but it's been 30 straight years of Rumspringa now, so.
Hell yeah.
It's interesting because, it's always interesting when I meet someone from, a different socioeconomic background who says, yeah, growing up, I never ate fast food. And that is completely alien to my experience in this country.
Yeah, my most vivid fast food memories are stealing change from my dad's dresser to drive my bike to Taco Bell, where you get a beef soft taco for 39 cents.
Preposterous.
And that is every food group. That is a full meal in a little pocket. It's amazing.
I'm going to show my age here, but I think my clearest fast food childhood memory was there was a Burger King on 82nd and Broadway where I grew up. And when I would go there as a kid, there used to be a smoking section in the Burger King. And they would have like molded plastic ashtrays built into the table.
I remember those too.
So nothing like, I would love to go to the BK with my mom or dad.
Flame broiled Whopper,
and they would just always be like, don't look at the smoking section. Don't look at those people. Just keep walking. Don't make eye contact with them.
What I noticed about your reviews, Bill, is that even if you're kind of down on this dish, you're still very sunny and pleasant about it.
Oh, yeah.
You're kind of like the anti-John Podhoretz in this way.
Yeah, a lot of delightful encounters with food. It's like, hey, even if I didn't love it, I'm out of my house and it tastes decent.
I'm glad to hear you guys say that. I've gotten so many people. I think people like my general demeanor. Like, I've gotten so many. The most common communication I get is like, this really cheered me up when I was depressed. Or like, if you're depressed, you've got to watch 50 Bill Oakley reviews in a row. And like, I really like that. I'm pleased. And also a lot of people call me dad too, which is a little weird.
Oh, like Bill Oakley is daddy, folks.
Think of me as, in fact, one guy said that the genre of my videos was extreme dadcore. And like, I didn't, I'll take it. I'll accept it.
That's another thing we have in common. A lot of people call me dad on Instagram too.
I was wondering, Bill, speaking about disposition and style, do you have any inspirations among your fellow car food reviewers? I'm thinking specifically of someone like, I don't know, Joey's World Tour. Have you ever watched his videos?
I have. I've watched all those other guys' videos. And
the Weekend Review kid in the suit.
Yeah, I love the kid in the suit.
Who do you think is the best one other than you, of course?
I don't want to say, and I don't watch them. I never watch them all the way through because I don't want to unconsciously crib stuff from them. First of all, I got to say those guys are titans. Like, those guys have literally have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of subscribers on YouTube, and I only have 13,000 on Instagram. So like, I guess I'm kind of a rarefied thing, and those guys they connected to.
You're the
giant
Velvet
audience.
Underground.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not trying to copy them in any way, and in fact, my inspiration is usually more like Food Network style stuff, where I'm like, the corniness of the way that Food Network shows are edited and scored is a lot of what I try to do. Is like, it's more like Guy Fieri. I think that I'm.
You're like a normcore Guy Fieri.
Well, thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
Bill, you mentioned that people find your reviews very uplifting and positive, and it's sort of like just slipping into like a nice warm blanket, getting like all snuggled up. But usually the format of, shall we say, sort of dad-aged white guy sitting alone in a car addressing a camera on his phone those are usually marked by rage. And
I know.
Father's rights.
I was just going to say that. I think that people draw some. This was not the intention of my reviews. People draw some comfort from seeing a 50-year-old white guy who is not furious.
Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
I think that like I'm a 50-year-old white guy, 53-year-old white guy who appears to be having a good time and is friendly and outgoing and introducing you to these new dishes, as opposed to almost every other guy my age who is furious about something and just won't shut up about it. I think you know who we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I hope that there never comes the day where I check in on a Bill Oakley review and you have shaved your head and have a beard.
Yeah, if the Democratic Party really does want to try to claw back these Trump voters or appeal to a tiny sliver of the aggrieved white electorate, I think they need Bill's style.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're so mad? There are abundance of treats just out by the interstate. A miracle mile of delights and treats for the senses.
I think that you guys are onto something.
Why don't we get into the specifics of some of America's
let's get down to the real shit
and regional fast food chains.
The stuff our fans love to hear about.
Yeah.
Wait, do your fans love to hear about it, or do they? Are you?
No, they love hearing about it from you. They hate it when we talk about it. So we're getting you in here to be sort of the voice of God to cut through the muddle.
Okay. Bill, what in your opinion is the best national fast food chain, and what is the best like sort of regional gem? And then what's like the hot newcomer?
Yeah.
This is really difficult, guys, because there's so many different things that constitute region and national. Like White Castle is really more regional.
Yeah.
And like Carl's Jr. / Hardee's are both two regional things, but they combine into one thing. So I'm going to have to tell you that I think the only one that covers the whole country that I would say is the absolute best at the moment is Wendy's.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, that spicy chicken sandwich is one of the best fast food items ever created.
I always get the spicy chicken sandwich when I go to Wendy's.
People say the burgers are good, but I always feel like if I order the burger, I'm going to hit myself afterward and say I should have got the chicken.
I'd say don't sleep on the burger.
Maybe I'll get one of those tiny burgers to go with the chicken.
But let me say that McDonald's has done an incredible job of improving their offerings over the past 2 years, and I think they could overtake Wendy's with a few more novelty items,
They have, but they've had a lot of misfires, like that weird large Big Mac.
Oh, the Big King, or no, the Grand Mac Grande or something. Yeah, I tried that. It was just way too much. It was
the weird thing about McDonald's. And
it was like eating a fucking Frisbee covered in mayonnaise.
Wait a second, I must have missed this. McDonald's they rolled out
a three-tiered system. There was a mini Mac that was just one patty on a bun. Then there was the classic Mac, and then there was the Grande Mac.
And I got the Grande Mac once.
Me too.
And it was one of the worst decisions of my life, and I felt so sick
It's
afterwards.
just way too big. The problem is that the regular Big Mac, they do recognize that that's a little too small, but they went too big. They didn't find the right point.
Okay, so what about like a sort of a gem, a fast food franchise that maybe not everyone is lucky enough to live near or know about?
Yeah,
this is a no-brainer for me. Now the thing is, there's dozens of ones that people love that I have never been to. Like for instance, Whataburger,
Culver's is so good.
I would love to try them, but I can't speak to them for this particular thing. What I would say is it is a tie between In-N-Out Burger and Freddy's Steak Burgers.
See, after your review of Freddy's, I was like, damn, I have to find one of those places.
I'd never heard of Freddy's.
Yeah, I've never even heard of Freddy's.
I've seen it on the highway, but I'd never been to one.
And
They're all over the place in the Midwest and stuff. And like the one I went to was Las Vegas, but it was so memorable that like I still consider it one of the highlights of my year.
All right, when we take the West Coast swing, we're going.
Besides Culver's, what do you look for the most? What do you crave the most that you haven't had access to?
Besides Culver's, Brahms. Have you guys ever heard of Brahms?
No.
Whataburger, Zaxby's, Raising Cane's.
Oh yeah, I want to try Zaxby's. I've had Raising Cane's.
How was it?
It's pretty good. The star is the sauce. The tenders are nice. They're pretty they are tender, but they're kind of standard issue. But the sauce is what makes it.
Okay. And also, like, you know what? I would like to be able to go to Chick-fil-A, but I'm sick of this crap with them. And like just this morning, another thing came out with another expose on all their donations to these anti-LGBTQ causes. And I'm like, God damn it. I really do. A couple times I've been there, I really like the food, but I'm sick of this shit from them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're out of pocket.
But I mean, it's genuinely good chicken.
It is very good.
Absolutely.
Bill, okay, those are the good ones, but I think, just as interesting are the real disasters. So give me the absolute worst fast food experience, and then also what is like the most ludicrous like single fast food menu item that's been the most disastrous in your opinion?
Okay. Of the ones I have had this year, there's so many. Okay, first of all, almost every new thing at Burger King has sucked over the past year. And like it goes without saying, like Burger King is really like something is wrong.
They have lost
especially with Burger Kings in my area where it's clear that like the person who owns them is just letting them decay until they all burn down and he can get the insurance money.
So they're going to be like Blockbuster Video or something?
Yeah, it's just like that.
The Burger King is being deposed.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I also live by a bum Burger King. And I didn't know if this is a national rot or if it's localized.
Well, their stock is going. I don't know what they're doing, but like every week they have some new crazy item, and they're uniformly bad. I don't know what's up with them, but their stock is going up. Something is weird in their business. Anyway,
it's a drug trade.
The worst thing I had all year was the Fruit Loop mini donuts at Carl's Jr. You guys, and this like was controversial too because some people really like them, and you guys don't have Carl's Jr. in New York, but you have Hardee's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hardee's also had them, I think, and basically what they were their donuts. They're called mini donuts. They were the size of those standard mini donuts you get from Hostess, but they were flavored and decorated to be like Fruit Loops. They looked like giant Fruit Loops, like you're taking a Fruit Loop, from the cereal bowl and blown it up to 100 times its original.
Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, like you're floating around in the bowl with a lightsaber.
The thing is, they tasted like actual Fruit Loops, but like that amount of that particular texture and flavor in your mouth at once was repulsive to me.
I've never been to a Hardee's or a Carl's Jr., and not for lack of access. I've just never had an impulse to go
We
there.
would go when I was a kid. Like a Friday night, my mom would take us to Hardee's. It was Hardee's. It was either Hardee's, sometimes Taco Bell, or Ponderosa Steakhouse for the buffet. But we would go, and I liked it. But they had a roast beef sandwich back then that was like an Arby's one, and the one I got, the bun was soaking wet. And so that's the last time I've been to Hardee's.
Okay, in a bad way. It wasn't soaking wet with delicious beef juice.
Oh no, it was just moist. It was just
that's
wet.
Awful.
I did live by a Checkers, and I always thought growing up that Checkers was a regional chain. And it wasn't until getting older when I saw something called a Rally's using the same iconography.
But it isn't Rally's and Checkers is not it's like I've never seen one.
You've never seen.
I think they're more East Coast.
They are okay. I guess they are more East Coast.
And the thing is I don't think they're divided geographically because I think there's Checkers and Rally's in New York, right?
So why is that then?
Just different branding. I don't know. It's weird.
But
why is White Castle Crystals in the South? I don't know.
I mean I don't know.
Those are two different businesses. They're real similar, but they're two different.
Someone should sue someone else because they have identical fucking sandwiches.
What I'm getting at is, I mean, I guess that makes sense then if Checkers is regional, because I always wondered why that Checkers never really entered the national consciousness, because it is unique and good in my opinion.
They're pretty good.
The fries are great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and they sell them frozen too.
Can I offer a quick Rally's take? That I remember, Rally's was regional where I grew up in Cincinnati, and I remember that they had a commercial that would play that it was one of my all-time favorite business slogans, which was Rally's, you gotta eat.
Yeah.
Which was the absolute just like lowest statement of consumption and desire in society that I could ever imagine an advertiser giving.
Rally's, that's one meal down.
Okay, just for people who really want to know the difference, they're Checkers in the Southeast and Rally's in the Midwest, but they're owned by the same giant corporation.
Bill, as long as they're like the genres of fast food themed videos and social media, I'm wondering, do you follow any of the? There's not like a single account that curates these, but it's really more just of a genre of videos made by fast food employees documenting the just absolute anarchy of working in a fast food restaurant. I'm talking about, fist fights with customers, people screaming, and my personal favorite, people at the drive-thru passing you blunts while they're ordering.
Those, I've seen them. I try to avoid watching too many things that are behind the scenes just because I don't want to destroy the magic of fast food.